How do you want to celebrate? I asked my husband in the summer of 2011. David had reached that 5-year milestone that meant he was considered a cancer survivor. The sobering cancer statistics had become a reality for our family. David was diagnosed in 2006. My beautiful, creative mother died of lung cancer in November 2010. Our 5-year-old grandson, Jacob, was diagnosed with a Wilms tumor 1 month later. But in the summer of 2011, we were in a good place in our life. Our marriage was the best it had ever been. Our grandson was doing well, and David was a cancer survivor. How did he want to celebrate? I want to visit my family, he said, and ride a train the next day. I've never ridden on a train. So in October 2011, we headed to Perry, Iowa, with our 3 youngest children. David visited his family, and the next day we rode the Boone train. There were so many things we wanted to do, so many experiences we looked forward to sharing, traveling, riding an airplane, attending a concert. We looked forward to our future together with excitement. Then in March 2012, our grandson's cancer returned, and David, the cancer survivor, couldn't bear to imagine the little boy he loved so much enduring further treatment. David had a heart attack, and 3 days after he came home from the hospital, his heart stopped beating sometime during the night, and I thought mine would break in two. How do I face the loss of my partner, my best friend, my beloved? I wondered. The only widow I'd known was my mother, and she was gone too. A writer by trade, the morning after my husband's death, I pulled out a journal and began to write my way through pain and anguish. How do I do this? I kept asking. How do I help my 8-year-old deal with her loss? Raise 3 girls alone? I began reading books by those who had gone down this road before me, copying their words in my journal. I knew I needed Bible verses for healing, but I didn't have a clue how to find them. I had to learn how, and my grief journey also became one of faith. The dark, lonely path of grief I walked was occasionally illuminated by rays of hope. If you die before me, how will you let me know you are okay? I'd once asked David. What would you use? Birds? A bumblebee? Coins? He'd never answered. You better make it blue or I won't recognize it as you, I joked, and we both laughed. I was intrigued when on a cool October evening, a butterfly dropped out of the arm of David's coat that hung on the clothesline. Then disappointed it was gray. I leaned down close and smiled when I saw the bright blue pattern on the edges of its wing. Things like that became bits and pieces of hope. I was healing and my faith growing. In January of 2013, doctors informed us there was nothing more they could do for Jacob. This little boy, who had fought cancer for 2.5 years, who had endured surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and a stem cell transplant, was going to die. For the first time since his death, I was glad David was not there to face this. 8-year-old Jacob died in August 2013. What possible meaning could there be in this, the death of a child? In his short life, Jacob had demonstrated what it was to be generous and giving, saving his prizes in the hospital for a brother and sister at home, collecting toys for other hospitalized children, smiling shyly at everyone. We were determined in Jacob's memory we would become better people. We designed and distributed cards, and random acts of kindness have been done in his name ever since. The life of one small child has made this world a better place. In the span of 3 years, I lost a mother, a husband, and a grandson. This is my story. It is a journey of both grief and grace. It is a story of